Hey, so you know that moment when you realize that you have to say something? That urge that wells up inside of you when you see someone with power hurting someone who has none. And if you've been hurt yourself or have been in a similar power dynamic, you can recognize it immediately. Let me talk about what we do with that feeling, because there's a lot more complexity going on under that surface than I think most of us notice. It's a feeling that emerges through a cascade of internal processes. It's risk assessment and emotional response. It's cognition and self-reflection and decision making. It's not just an emotion. It's a crossroads between speaking truth and staying silent. And either way, it costs us. Our modern society, it runs on a hustle or die culture. And with a world that runs like that, it demands a near trance-like state of obedience from us in order to function like it's supposed to. It rewards the kind of social behavior that keeps you moving, the kind that keeps you performing or keeps you just functional enough to keep going. It's a state of being where we're conditioned to dismiss our instincts, to stay quiet even if it hurts us, even when we know that something isn't right. It's like there's a script that we're all supposed to follow and buy into, where nobody has to pause and nobody has to feel anything and nobody has to challenge what's happening if you just stay the course. And after enough repetition of that, it starts to work. It starts to change the shape it holds inside of us. It's like the sight of that homeless encampment on the daily commute. It starts blending into the background of the day. And not because it doesn't hurt, not because it's stopped being painful, but because your mind has no choice but to adapt to that pain, to disassociate from it just in order for you to get to work. And once you've been trained to not notice anymore, that pain, it starts to feel normal. It can even feel numb. But it never takes much to poke that sleeping bear, does it? Let somebody in the car call that pain out for what it is. Give it its name. Give it the recognition. And suddenly that silent shudder, it's in everybody's chest, whether they admit it or not. I've lived that moment many times. I'm the kind of human that has lived van life, not for glam, but for survival. And I remember what I can't stop this time felt like. And the list of reasons that I had back then were valid. But what I didn't know then, what I couldn't see from the inside, is that my nervous system was remembering all of it. It would remember that pain long after my mind shut the front door on the topic. Besser Van der Kolk puts it pretty plainly in his title, The Body Keeps the Score. And it does. It remembers the cost of being trapped in survival by a culture that trains the humanity out of us, by threatening our own stability if we choose to help or say something. And it calls that normal. So when the urge to act shows up again, don't treat it like an emotion. Treat it like information. Because I should have done more isn't always the truth that it sounds like, especially when you look at the context. Growth is not perfect. It's not a clean process, especially when we're starting from the basics. The basics that are how to be safe and human at the same time. That begins when we finally take in what the Crossroads is trying to tell us, more than a Wilson. Chin up.